Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Legs, and I would greatly appreciate it if you want to support me, support the channel. If you would consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, it helps to get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. I am on the road to 10K this year, and I know we can make it there. You guys are so supportive. I absolutely love reading y'all's comments, and I'm honestly surprised so many of y'all are watching Temptation Island with me. I did see that some of y'all said you can't watch it in your countries, and I'm really sad about that because it's actually super good. So I got some plugs, but I don't want to be responsible for that on YouTube. But there are places where you could probably check it out online. Let me just tell you that much. Anyway, let's get into the episode. Today we're going to be talking about episodes 5 and 6. And baby, if I hear the word threesome one more time from Brian, I might just crash out. Let's get into it. Let's get into the biz. So we start off at the girls' bonfire. As we know, it was a cliffhanger with Ashley. She got the beginning of the clip with Grant going into the shower with Natalie. We see the rest of the clip where you can hear the moaning. You can hear everything that went on in the shower. I don't think I need to give you all a play-by-play. Now, Ashley says she feels relief at this point. And
definitely doesn't deserve me.
Does the strength you're feeling right now surprise you a little bit?
No. I think I've been waiting for this. I've just been waiting for the proof.
Okay.
Again, Grant and Ashley, I think they came here literally hanging by a thread. I think they were both just looking for a reason to let go of this trauma bonded, toxic, terrible on and off relationship that they've been having. So she knew who she came with, and that is who he has proven to be. So Ashley, you better mean that. Because I feel like it's easy to say that now when he's not here, but then he's in front of you and you're going to have a different story. Now, Ashley talks about how he had the fiance and the mother of his child. He has her, and he didn't deserve either one of these women. At this point, he's just playing around, doing the most. And again, it's just so toxic between these two. They just need to have a clean break. If there's any couple on this show, I feel like just needs a clean break, it is the two of them. Ashley realizes that she'd be dumb to believe that Grant wouldn't cheat on her again, since it has already happened multiple times. If it was that easy for him to fall for another woman, why wouldn't he do it again? And I absolutely agree. So next up, we get to the clip that Taylor gets. Now, Taylor gets Kay and Tyler in the bed and him saying that the relationship is over. You know, the next morning, he's talking about how he's okay with it in some ways, but he's still coming to terms with it. Now, for Taylor, she is sobbing.
Again. This is the last thing I wanted to happen, Mark. Honestly, this is my worst.
And I'm gonna say this. Tyler is a piece of ish, okay? I do not like Tyler. I don't think he's a great guy, but something about Taylor is annoying. And y'all put in the comments too that Taylor is insufferable. Taylor very much gives me, I play the victim, and I'm always talking about how horrible and terrible everyone in the world is to me. And I feel like it does get draining and it does get exhausting. I'm not excusing Tyler's behavior. I don't know the inner workings of their relationship, but I can definitely see how isolated, I don't know. Taylor talks a lot about how people in her life constantly leave her, and I'm sorry, but I just feel like a lot of her demeanor makes it clear why that is a constant pattern with her. So she's feeling broken, she's upset. Mark reassures her, look, right now it is a feeling. It's a feeling, but you are not broken yourself. So you need to remember that and pick yourself up. And I definitely agree. When you let getting hurt, being mistreated become your identity, then you fall into that and it just becomes a cycle. I'm not victim blaming this woman. I'm not saying that she deserves being treated poorly, but I do think at some points we have to take responsibility for the story that we allow to be told about us, the story that we allow ourselves to be a part of. And we also have to take accountability for the people that we continuously bring into our lives. So once again, Taylor realizes that he has crossed all the boundaries at this point. Cuddling with Kay rolls off the tongue. All of these different things that he's been saying about Kay over and over again. And she starts to spiral once again about how everyone treats her terribly. Everyone leaves. It's just horrible. It was too much. It was really too much. But Mark does try to remind her this does not have to be your story. And I absolutely agree. So that is the end of the bonfire. One last thing that Mark tells them is that the Temptation Haven is going to be at at both houses. Basically, this tent is going to have no cameras. You will be able to hear on the microphones what went on. But whenever somebody goes into the haven at either house, a light will go off in the opposite villa. So if a guy goes in, the light goes off in the girl's villa. If a girl goes in, it goes off in the guy's villa. So choose wisely. Do what you want to do. Go in there if you want. We shall see who takes that temptation. So next up is the guy's bonfire. Excuse me, the clip of Taylor saying that Grant has B tendencies to Cody, talking about how he's this terrible guy. He would easily get misted by things as such. For Tyler, he claims that it hurts so bad.
Chin and process it. I just don't want to react to make any decisions, but I do want to be mature and
That's right.
stand up for myself.
His journey here has been all about feeling valued, and he finally has started to feel that way. If she feels the need to say that, there is a lot to unpack. And again, I think their relationship is filled with resentment. I think their relationship is filled with hurt feelings. I think their relationship is both filled with trying to get back at one another by being having the biggest theatrics. And while I do probably believe that it's possible that Tyler may not feel appreciated in the relationship, then you have every bit as much power to leave Taylor. You don't have to continue to stay in this relationship. So next up, Breon. This is the clip of Shantae talking with the guys, saying how if he wants to do threesomes, that's up to him. If he believes that the girls in this house are going to take care of him better than her, she doesn't know what to say at this point. That's all on him, but it's not her cup of tea, and she will not be doing it. Also talking about how Breon makes all these comments about girls with bubbly personalities and how he kind of will clown girls with these different demeanors. So Breon claims it is refreshing for him.
She said in the clip that you use comedy and lightness and your ability to make everybody have a good time. But do you think sometimes you get
to see this because he's been working on this in the island? He's like, oh, great. So now I'm doing the things that she wants me to do. It's going to be perfect. Breon has the chip on his shoulder, thinking that no matter what happens, Shantae will forgive him. And to me, this is one of the things that is a danger of forgiving a man who cheated on you or left you or otherwise betrayed you, because then they get this idea in their head that you're going to do it over and over and over again. And in a lot of cases, unfortunately, it does happen. For Breon, he says he's been working on himself. He's been asking the girls on the island deeper questions than he's ever asked Shantae, and he knows that he wants to get to know Shantae in that way. For him, he has also realized that he uses comedy to mask deeper feelings because he grew up in a tough love environment. So for him, he wants to dive deeper into that and break down those walls. And all right, Breon, we will see, is also talking about sex and threesomes all the time, a way to mask those feelings too. Because I'm still stuck on how you don't see that connection as well. Now for Lino, this is a girly girl. I almost said her name, set off my speaker again, saying that she cannot choose Lino if he does not realize that from the beginning, she has always chosen him. At this point, she can't keep hearing about it. And I just agree. Like, there's just something about it where, to me, it is very clear that at the beginning of their relationship, they simply did not communicate effectively enough, that they wanted to be exclusive with one another. I do think, unfortunately, Lino does give me insecure vibes. I just hate to say that. And so I do think because of that, there is a lot of projection. Even on the show, Lexi Lex, she doesn't go for anybody. We don't see her talking to anyone. All of the dates she's had have been platonic. So I do think this is more of a Lino problem the more episodes I'm watching. Now, he does realize this is the truth, but unfortunately, he cannot internalize it due to those insecurities. He does realize that she could be with anyone, but does choose him. So finally, Lino, I think, is starting to crack that code, and neither Lexi or Lino has gone for anybody. I think this is the only couple, maybe one of the only couples that's actually going to go back to each other. And I do think that if they just have some conversations and talk things through, they should be able to work this out. And lastly, Grant. This is Ashley talking about how she's usually drawn to the most confident guy in the room. She was originally attracted to Grant, but now realizing that she got this piece of ish man. Now, Grant goes on his apology tour, his poor old victim tour.
Love to give. She's not letting me love her. And now I have this new feeling that, you know, she's gonna see what
She's always worrying about the worst in me. She's always focusing on the negatives. It's crazy for her to call me a piece of ish. I know I'm a great man, a great father, a great everything. And if she can't get over it, that's too bad. She's not letting me love her. And honestly, at this point, she'll realize way too late when I'm gone everything that I've done for her. Okay, Grant. Yeah, Grant. Okay. Grant's a menace. Grant is a menace. I'm just gonna say Grant is a menace. This man is dangerous. He is manipulative. And ladies, stay away from him. Anyway, that is the end of the guys' bonfire. And Mark does reveal the temptation haven to them as well. And of course, explain that if anyone goes in, the light will go off at the girls' villa. Now, Grant does realize after this bonfire that for him, it is time to move on.
Something for Kay?
These are for you.
Thank you.
Of course.
I think he said that 4 or 5 times now. Both him and Ashley keep saying it's time to move on. So mean that, stand on that. Y'all don't have to be together. Breon is now at a point where he is trying to decide if he and Shantae are compatible because, oh my gosh, this man needs a threesome or he can't do it. Child, this show is toxic. So back at the girls' villa, Ashley is not storming in, but she's stepping in all confident after the bonfire, talking about I'm officially single, guys. I'm on the market. And I'm like, okay. Ashley is coming to terms with being done with Grant, and she's talking to her 2 suitors, Danny and Logan, all about the clips, all about what she saw there, but she does end up asking Danny on a date tomorrow. Logan, in the confessional, he is okay. He thinks in the end that Ashley will actually end up being more drawn to him, but as you know, Logan, he a little jealous. He's been jealous the whole time. I do think Ashley has definitely been leaning way more towards Danny. I think it's just the sweet talk. I think Danny, you could tell he knows the right things to say. I think Danny validates her. And I think Ashley is someone who probably has been very beaten down in her relationship. And so kind words are going to go very far with her rather than Logan, who's I'm 6'5", I'm big, I'm buff. Like, I just don't feel like that's going to draw her in as much, even if the physical attraction is there. Now, they are all worrying. All the girls at the villa are worrying about if their men are going to go into the haven, what's going to happen. And Yaman and Taylor, we start to see some sparks fly between them.
Chat with you because I just feel like you provide a sort of wisdom that I feel like I swear.
Wisdom?
Mr. Ye for a...
Remember episode 2 when Yaman came into the villa? He did introduce himself one-on-one to Taylor and tell her, hey, if you ever need anything, I'm here. So we're seeing a little continuation of that relationship. He is lifting her up, talking about how this whole time she has been putting herself down by trying to build up this man, and it is not worth it for her to do that. Taylor is falling into it. She is melting into a puddle, and she loves chatting with Yaman because he drops some wisdom. And Yaman's like, wisdom? Wisdom? You said wisdom? I ain't gonna hold you. I feel like Yaman has a little bit of a weird personality. He kind of gives me jokester and cocky. And I don't feel like he's saying anything super deep, but I do think if you're Taylor, you're probably looking for that kind of emotional connection. So back at the guys' villa, Grant once again is letting everyone know he is done. Grant and Ashley, they always announce after the bonfire that they are done with their partner. So for him, it is time to grow. So of course, he has to pull over his little babe, Natalie, and say, look, at this point, if she called me a piece of ish, it is time to realize that the relationship is over. Natalie's like, I knew this would happen. I knew you'd come over here. I knew that it would go this way. I totally agree. And I'm like, Natalie, this man keeps ping-ponging you back and forth. One day he's willing to do the boom boom with you, and the next day he's saying, oh, never mind, I actually don't want to get physical anymore. Oh wait, actually I do. Oh wait, I actually don't. And that doesn't ring some red flags in your ears, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your whole world. It does not make a red flag come down for you that this man is wishy-washy. Child. So He's telling Natalie that he did revert on their relationship because he was still thinking about Ashley that one day. But now, after he saw what he saw, he does realize it is time to move on. So Breon is now in a position where he's telling everyone, I'm not even sure if I'm really ready to be committed in that way anymore. He claims in the confessional that he is traditional with the way he views his life, with a wife, kids, etc. The whole shebang. But he still is very, very comfortable with the idea of polyamory. Breon is so unserious. Get Breon off the TV, y'all. He is so unserious. This man is just trying to have a good time. And you know what? Look, if it's consensual between everyone, it's fine to have a good time. But stop dragging Shantae along. Shantae's trying to say, oh, I want to move in with you. I want to take those next steps. And baby, you just talk about threesomes and polyamory. And that's not the life that she wants. So maybe y'all are just not compatible. But they are explaining the temptation tent to the girls, how it's going to work, the light in the other house. Tyler and Kay, he pulls her over and he asks her out on a date the next day. They are the first ones to go check out the Haven. And you can hear everything they're doing. They're kissing. They're talking about, we're the pioneers. We're the front runners. We're doing this first. And I'm like, baby, you couldn't even wait until a few hours after the bonfire. Ciao. As Tyler and Kay are doing whatever they're doing in the tent, the light goes off at the girls' villa, and it's like 1 a.m. All of the girls are sleeping, and Shantae starts sobbing. Taylor actually goes in to comfort her because Shantae is under the impression that it's Breon, and she just starts to have a nervous breakdown. And I'm like, girl, if you can't trust your man this much, you should not be with him. I don't know what to say. You should not be with him. Back at the men's villa, Courtney and Alex, they decide they are going to devise a plan to get Breon to crack, because at this point they are tired of Breon talking all that talk, pretending like he's going to stick with these boundaries, and then he doesn't. So they go up to the room and they're in the bathroom talking about something. How far are you willing to go? Oh my God.
What happened? You talking to me?
No. How much are you willing to do? And Breon is standing there. He keeps looking back, looking back, looking back. He keeps staring at that camera there. He knows that camera is watching him. He heads into the bathroom. He says, let's start off slow. Once he closed the bathroom door, you hear him, let's start off slow. He likes to watch the fun. But before you know it, and I want to say this exactly how my caption said it. First you hear the moaning, of course, and then my caption said rhythmic wet slapping. That's how the caption said it on my TV, y'all. You hear the rhythmic wet slapping. Child. All it took was 2 girls coming up to him for Breon to drop all them boundaries. Grant and Courtney, they also go into the Temptation Haven, and they also are rhythmic wet slapping. So the lights go off in the girls' villa. Ciao. Next morning, Breon wakes up saying he does not feel regret over the threesome.
Oh shit.
No,
Big
he's a
bang.
meme.
What'd you do?
Stay showered. Yeah, my shower.
And you were watching?
But I was in there.
Were they naked?
Crazy scenes, bro.
Were they
Yeah.
naked?
It was a wild.
Breon, if there's one thing he's gonna let us know, is that threesome was for the best. It was respectful. He needed to do it for his relationship. This will bring him and Shantae closer than ever. He even, talks in circles, talking about how, oh, he didn't cheat on Shantae since he kept it honest. And he even says in the confessional, he's wondering how he could get Angel and Amaya in the shower too. This little, ooh, Shantae, girl, this your king? Is this your king? I find it hard to believe that he's only cheated once. Girl, he cheated once that you know about. Let me just say that. So back at the girls' villa, they are all speculating who it was that went into the tent. They think it's Grant, but anyways, it is time to ask everyone on dates today. So Alex asks Giovanni, Shantae asks Hashim, Taylor and Yemen are on a date. So that's kind of what's going on. Back at the guys' villa, Breon is telling all the men about his adventures, talking about some, I love my girl, but it was real nice. He proceeds to ask Angel on a date, and his logic is if he asked one of the girls from the threesome on a date, then he would start building an emotional connection. But since he just F'd them, it was basically just a hit it and quit it, so it wasn't technically cheating because there's no emotional connection there. With asking Angel, he has no connection with her yet, so he could actually see if the emotional is there. Ladies, stay away from this man. Stay away from this man. Whew. Whew. Anyway, Lino asks Amaya on a date because he remembers that Amaya showed interest on the first day. I'm like, Lino, you don't like nobody here. You do not like nobody here. Let me just say that. So Taylor and Yemen, they're on their date. They are horseback riding. Taylor, once again, really appreciated him talking her through after the bonfire. He has all this wisdom. She loves the little back and forth banter that they have. And she does trust him, weirdly enough, because he has a good frame of mind. His head is on straight. She really does see something in him that seems mature. And I think, I don't know. We don't know much about Yemen. I think he seems like a nice guy. I'll give it that. But he continues to motivate and poke at her all throughout the date. Is there something there? I don't know. I think Taylor's just in a vulnerable spot, but we'll have to see within the next few episodes. So Kay and Tyler, they have a date catching conkfish. And then after that, basically they talk about their rose and their thorn of the date. He says the thorn was trapping the fish for a while, his rose, and then he goes in for the kiss with Kay. Lino and Amaya, they have a cooking class. There's absolutely nothing to talk about. Hashim and Shantae, they do a cold plunge in like a salt reserve or something like that. Then we get to Breon and Angel. So they are doing massages.
When I first met you, that you like threesome, so...
Yeah. Explain that. What's your question now?
How do you expect to...
Breon once again wants to see if the emotional connection is there. She's stunning looks-wise. She's smart. All of these different things. So for him, he talks about how his girl needs to be a Christian, and Angel is immediately confused, as am I, saying, so how can you be with a girl who's a Christian but does threesomes? And he's like, I don't get it. Like, how can you do these threesomes and say that you're a Christian and you want a Christian girl? Breon starts to explain that God knows what he made, okay? It may not be exactly God's word, but God made me in his image, so he knows what he did. Child. So she's like, okay, when was your last threesome? He says, I don't even remember. I'm like, last night. I know he didn't say I don't remember. So Breon in the confessional says he understands that part of this is to ask deep questions and get to know each other, but he is getting a bit turned off at the fact that Angel is asking questions. But Angel clocks his BS because Angel realizes that he's constantly contradicting himself. He says he wants a girl of God, but then says he wants to do threesomes. Like, it does not make sense. And I'm glad that Angel is not falling for the BS with this man. It's not worth it. So Giovanni and Alexa, oh God, they have their date and they just watch stars off the back of a truck bed on a cliff. So Ashley and Danny, they are having a sexual embodiment class.
Exercise. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just be in this moment with this person.
She's on his lap. It's like tantric yoga. They always love to do a tantric yoga on these shows. So they're very comfortable with each other. For Ashley, she feels very calm, very safe. Ashley does, after the yoga, talk about how she knows it's been a bit of a joking relationship that they've had the whole time, but it's starting to get a bit more serious for her when he'll like open the door after she closes it, or he'll like brush against her waist in the kitchen. She does realize that she's starting to feel those feelings. And for Danny, once again, he enjoys everything about her. He enjoys her presence. He really likes her. So Grant and Natalie, they're on the beach with some drinks. He wants to know a little bit more about her family. So Natalie explains that her parents were the least compatible people in the world, but they were married for 20 years. After they split up when she was 15, they finally got married to the people that they actually deserve to be with. And she loves that. She loves their relationships. So for her, she really doesn't want to get into some like relationship that is unhappy and makes no sense. I get that. I can totally understand that. For Grant, he absolutely loves that because he was feeling very guilty about ending the relationship with his baby mama. So he was really glad that her parents were able to make it work for the kids for a while, but now they've found their true love. And I'm like, okay, Grant. He feels everything she does is adorable. And then, of course, he goes in for the kiss. So back at the women's villa, they are back from the dates. Logan is definitely a bit jealous at this point. He does realize how close Danny is getting with Ashley, and he loves Ashley, or he loves Danny, he says. But at this point, he would also be a clown to continue going for her and going for her and going for her when it's very clear what direction she's headed. At the men's villa, Grant says at this point he is allowing himself to fully open up to Natalie, and basically all night they just make out in the bed, okay? Now the lights go off at the guys' villa.
What is that? Oh, it seems intense. I do not know what to think.
And we have no idea what happens. Grant is selfishly hoping it's not Ashley, but he does also realize how upset can he really be. Breon is stressing, and I just think it's funny once again that all of these men are so cocky, they're so arrogant that they can act however they want, they can be flirtatious, they can do what they want to do. But once their girl gets some play, then all of a sudden it's, oh my God, how dare she? Oh my goodness, how could that be? Yeah, it hurts when it's on the other side, doesn't it? But we actually end up the end of episode 5 not knowing who went in the tent. So let's start off on episode 6. Episode 6. Men, the next morning, they are speculating over at their villa who it could be. They think that it's maybe Tay or Ashley, according to Tyler. It's real hard. Again, they're all stressing. They're all stressing when they realize their girl could get some play. So back at the girls' villa, Ashley tells the girls, hey, I went in last night with Danny just because I wanted to mess with them.
My theory with it is to just set it off.
There you go. There it is. We didn't even kiss.
Oh my God.
It's all right.
Sorry.
We didn't actually do anything. We didn't even kiss. Ashley just feels like them wondering who it was would send them into overdrive and realize how much they love their girl. Keep in mind, Ashley said that she and Grant have this dynamic, or it was Grant, I believe, that said in the clubs that Grant would try to make Ashley jealous and she would come running back. They have an on and off relationship. So it's very clear that they have this toxic thing in their relationship where they try to get back at each other to have the other one prove how much they love them. Ashley talks about that Grant only cares when she's almost gone. Girl. So she's demonstrating the same thing here and demonstrating that same behavior. And Ashley, you should know that you don't have to do that in a relationship. And even the other girls are like, I see what she means. I think Shantae in the confessional was like, I see what she means, but I just don't know how true it actually is. So Mark shows up back at the girls' villa with none other than Kay.
That your past is not your present and isn't going to be your future. Not everybody leaves.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Hi. You know, expect the unexpected here on Temptation Island.
And if you don't remember who Case is, girl, there's like so many people on this show. It's so many names. But Case is one of the guys that had a great relationship with Taylor, the one who self-eliminated himself 2 episodes ago. He reached out basically saying that there was unfinished business, so he wants to come back to the villa and try to figure it out with Taylor. He said leaving was impulsive and premature, and Mark actually pulls Taylor aside and says, look, there's no pressure. He reached out and said he wanted to finish things, but it's really stuck with me how you said everyone leaves you and how you feel like everyone in your life just walks out, and I just want to show you that's not the case. Basically, look at Case. He came back for you. And I'm like, oh my God, Taylor needs to be in the with the lady, okay? He needs to go see the lady. She does not need to be on this show. This is not it. None of this is it. So Taylor and Case do have a little bit of a talk. She does let him know that she is a single lady, and Taylor is interested in still continuing with Case. However, she has made a relationship with Yemen since Case decided he was going to leave. So we have the little games of the day at the men's villa. They're playing pickleball. All the girls are in their little pickleball outfits. All the guys are literally foaming at the mouth. The girls have a beach day. Now, back at the guys' villa after the pickleball game, the guys have a s'mores party and they're putting up tents. And I'm like, more tents? More tents for more temptation. Brian tells him, he's putting up his tent with Amaya, talking about, that's my little sweetheart. That's my little sweetheart. Basically says while Ashley and Courtney are still his top, he would still like to connect with Angel and Amaya. And remember, he said yesterday that he would love to get them in that shower. Ciao. So Amaya likes Breon, but she definitely realizes it's just fun and flirty. It is no further than that. Now, Breon says, hey, I know that the one-on-one sex that I have with Shantae is sacred. It would be way worse if I ended up having sex one-on-one with one of the girls from the threesome. Again, this is how Breon is justifying the threesome, that because it was just 2 girls and I didn't go on dates with them after, it was just nothing. And baby, if you look at women and you think they're that disposable and you're okay with that, as I said, Shantae, you need to be running for the hills, girl. This man just looks at women as disposable, and that's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. Now, Breon, once again, he will never hesitate to let us know that he has always had options. He's always had pretty girls sliding in the DMs. So for him to have restraints against that stuff really does show how committed he is to Shantae. The girls have a glow party. So Yemen says, with Taylor and Ashley being mostly single, they need to bring them over to their side. They need to start flirting with them and talking with them. So for Yemen, he does feel that he and Taylor vibe really, really naturally. And they can talk about anything. But at the end of the day, if Taylor really wants to be with Yemen, she's got to get rid of those other girls. He says he's not going to say anything to her yet, but that's just how it's going to have to be. And I'm like, Yemen, I don't know. Case is back now. Let's see what Taylor really wants. So Ashley is telling Danny that she actually wants to set the lights off tonight. They are getting much, much closer. And this time, Danny's like, okay, last night we just went in to mess with them, but tonight I feel like it's going to be a little something, something. So Danny does realize that she is fresh out of a relationship and he thinks she is so strong for what she is able to overcome. So the lights go off at the men's house.
That's it.
I wanna get to know you, everything about you.
And they're guessing, they think it might be Shantae. Breon is egging Grant on, like, go, go, go. You guys have to go on. You and Natalie, get in. We have to one-up them. The fact that Breon, once again, all Breon looks at sex and intimacy as a one-up, as a disposable thing. And I'm just saying, run away from this man. Y'all can keep a tally. Take a shot every time I say run away from this man. Because Breon, this episode, it was a hell nah for me. An absolute hell nah. So the lights all go off in the girl's house. Danny says, he feels like Ashley's his girlfriend. They kiss. And we basically see both Ashley and Grant effing their respective partners in the tents at the same time. Next morning, Grant is telling the guys that he really loves Natalie, but would forgive Ashley. This man is having post-nut clarity again. What is going on with this man? Oh my God, Grant and Ashley have such a toxic relationship. Even the guys like, why would you even want to be back with her? She called you a piece of shit. Like, make it make sense. Even Lito is like, why would you want to be with someone who said that? Why would you forgive her? It's just crazy. And again, Grant is so unserious and so toxic. And him and Ashley, they also need to be seeing the lady. They don't need to be here. They really don't need to be here. But Tyler does say that he is not ready to step into a sexual relationship with Kay at this point. As far as we know, they've laid in bed together, they've cuddled, I believe they've kissed, but as far as we know, they have not gotten sexual yet. So Taylor and Kay's, they have a date or they talk to the side. Basically, he wanted her to give her the space to do what she wanted, but he realized that he really did mess up walking away. And again, Taylor is excited, but she knows that she still is building something with Yemen, so it's a we'll see. Back at the guys' villa, Olivia and some other girl, they are talking about Breon. At this point, Breon is the talk of the town because everyone is starting to realize that he's looking for sex so hard, and it's very clear that he's not feeling his girlfriend and that this insatiable urge that he has for sex is a major problem. People are starting to pick up on it. The girls are starting to pick up on it, and it's just not going too well. So Courtney and Breon, he is claiming that Shantae will never have to hear about the threesome again because he got to do it. He's basically saying now that he got it out of his system and he was able to do it one time, they could have a lifetime of love, laughter, and everything in between. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Courtney realizes that Breon really wants to go for something when it is forbidden. So right now he's saying he doesn't want the threesome, but what if there's something else in the relationship that Shantae's not cool with? This is a pattern most likely with him. And I'm like, if Courtney can pick that up and she's only known this man for 8 days, Shantae, why can't you pick this up? And you've been with him for what, 2 years, I believe it was. Now, Courtney is not sure that anyone is really going to live up to Breon's sex drive, as she says in the confessional, but she does say that she feels like she and Breon are more sexually matched because she has a high sex drive, as does he. Breon, once again, is hammering in how he is confident Shantae will forgive him and it will make the relationship closer. And again, it is just disgusting the way this man talks about her. It is disgusting how he knows that he can treat Shantae however, and she's going to come running back. This is disgusting. I don't like to see it whatsoever. So Mark shows up to the villa and lets them all know tonight there will be a bonfire. And I'm like, when is there going to be an elimination? Okay, we got too many people. We need to be eliminating people, Mark. No more bonfires yet. So we begin with the guys' bonfire and we go straight into Tyler. Now, Tyler gets a clip of the date with Yaman that Taylor had, talking about how she trusts him. Then we see a little bit of Yaman painting on Taylor at the paint party. Nothing too crazy. So Tyler does realize that it is way more lighthearted this time. Kay is, at this point, it is refreshing for him to be with Kay because she inspires him to take the risks he wants. She stands behind him. Taylor's always beating him down and making him go back to his 9-to-5 and doesn't support his modeling dreams. And again, I just think that these two are fundamentally incompatible. I think they seemingly have different love languages. I think they seemingly have different goals. And so I just think that Taylor and Tyler, they just need to break it off. I just think that the one another cannot provide what the other needs emotionally. So yeah. Yaman gets the clip. Yaman. Why did I write Yaman? I meant to write Breon. Breon gets the clip about Shantae crying about the light going off with Taylor. So this clip is definitely meant to make him feel bad. Like, look at your girl, how she's crying over at the villa thinking that it's you that she went into that tent. Only thing Breon has to say is, yeah, that sucks to see.
I don't gotta hold that over Shantae's head. So it's gonna suck and she's gonna go through it. But I feel like this pain that she's feeling now.
Like, do you care about this girl? Or do you just care about the fact that she's going to be your little traditional wife cooking and cleaning for you and whatever else you said? For him, yes, he didn't go into the tent, but he does realize he fell into temptation. He does not like seeing Shantae like that, but he does not regret it. We know. Take a shot every time Breon says he does not regret the threesome. He wasn't feeling fulfilled and he was holding the threesome over Shantae's head, but now that it has happened, they can move forward because he no longer has to hold it over her head. Yeah, Breon, that's how it works. He feels that he won't have to explain himself much to Shantae. All he will do is just go up, apologize, and she will take him back. And I'm like, how disgusting is that? How disgusting is that? If my husband was walking around telling people, oh yeah, I cheated, but I know I just have to go up to her and say sorry and she'll take me back, baby, I would be running so fast. That is so disgusting to me. Breon is a disgusting person. Anyway, Lino. So we get Gio saying I love you in Italian to Alexa and her raving about her Italian lover boy. There's nothing there. We barely even see clips of them. These two, they can leave together if they can overcome it. He realizes that at this point she needed comfort and he was able to provide it. And while Lino does realize there are some similarities between them, he is not him. And again, Lino, I'm gonna need you to stand in yourself because Lex is ready for you and you could be ready for her too. I think y'all just need to sit down, have a conversation about staying in one place for a year so you can focus on your career, and I think y'all will be good to go. It's very clear that I think the love is still there for the two of you, even if you're harboring a little bit of resentment about the career stuff. So Grant gets the clip of Danny and Ashley talking about how it's getting more serious between the two of them. It's not just jokes. Then the clip of them kissing in the tent. So for Grant, he says he's not sure if he feels happy or disgusted for her.
She's saying she feels safe around him. And she's liking all these little things. She hasn't felt it a long time with me.
He's realizing at this point, maybe she just does not want his love. And again, I'm like, Grant, baby. Mark brings up, well, maybe there's a part of you that also does not want her love. And I'm like, ding, ding, ding. Y'all don't want each other. And that, hey, it can be a clean break. But you can't put it all on her when in reality, you also continuously talk about how you're looking for something different in a partner than she's providing. So for Mark, once again, he points out how there's a gap between his actions and his words. Now, Grant again goes into, I'm not a bad person for exploring connections. I'm like, Grant, is there ever a moment where you don't have to play the victim? Just shush. So that is the end of the men's bonfire. They do find out also that the Temptation Haven will be gone. However, if they feel like there's some loose ends that they need to tie up, they will have the opportunity to record a 30-second message and give it to their partner. The girls will also have the same offer. So some people might get a message and some might get nothing. Completely up to you. The women's bonfire. So Ashley gets the clip of Grant and Natalie kissing, going into the tent, him talking about how he needs to let go of the how she needs to let go of the resentment to make the relationship work. And if she could do that, then maybe he would marry her in the future. All of the girls are sitting there like, is this man crazy? And it is insane. I don't think we've ever heard Grant once say something he did wrong. Nothing. All of the other guys, you could say it's disingenuous, but at least they have said something that they have been wrong about. Grant is the only guy who has always put it onto Ashley. Ashley's the one that doesn't accept me. Ashley's the one that doesn't like me. Ashley's the one that doesn't do this. Ashley's the one that doesn't do that. And I'm like, bruh. Even Mark pointed it out, episode 1. Ashley says at this point she has no words left for this child. His words do not match his actions, and even though he may be a good person, he is definitely not a good boyfriend. So, Lex. This is Lino, and they give the clip of Lino discussing that he saw Mia as a friend, and he had a little bit of attraction to Alex. This was from like episodes ago. I mean, I get that they literally have no Lino clips, so they tried to make it seem like he has an attraction to Alex. It's nothing. It's a nothing burger. For Lex, she realizes that Lino came for clarity, so he can continue to do that. For her, she doesn't want to be 5 to 10 years down the road and he's succumbing to temptation, but it still hurts though. Mark points out that even though it hurts, that means that you care. So Taylor gets the Tyler and Kay going into the tent, kissing, them talking about how they're the first ones to use the tent. Taylor sees, hey, he is finally happy.
It was just so comical to him, just laughable, no cameras. Like, that's not the person that I fell in love with.
Crazy how comical it was to him that there's no cameras. Look, there's no cameras in the tent. He is not the guy that she fell in love with and wanted to be that person for him. She knew though within the first 30 seconds that he was going to pick Kay, and once again, he focused on all of her shortcomings, manipulated her to feel bad about herself. Child, just break up with the man. Just break up with the man. I have nothing much to say there other than these two need to just break up. And lastly, we end off on a cliffhanger for Shantae, because we know she gonna get that threesome clip. All right, y'all. If you made it to this point in the video, that means you liked the video. So I would greatly appreciate it if you would support the channel by liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. It helps to get the videos out there and it inspires me to keep creating. Thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you guys in the episode 7 and 8 video coming up in the next couple of days. Bye.